Okay, so I was at Hunstanton yesterday taking some shots. I was really trying to get, let's show you on here, I did mention on another post about inspiration, and I explained how that I used Dropbox, and I had made some screen grabs from other people's sites. Don't worry, I'm not using them or putting them on a website or anything else. This is purely for my inspiration, so I don't really have a problem in grabbing an image like this, sticking it in a folder, and once I've done, I'll delete all these out. It's just to give me something, so I've got details in my phone, in my Dropbox folder. I will put a note at the bottom of this just referring across, because that's my inspiration post, and quite helpful, I hope. But I came across this one. I like this effect of this blurring. Now I'm starting to get my head around this now, and I can see that there's just a shallow blur going on here. This was what I went trying to do, but realised that the ND filter I'd got, an ND4, wasn't enough. So I think I'm going to be buying another one of those and sticking that on top. So what those ND filters, neutral density filters, are doing is it's like putting a pair of sunglasses on the front of your lens so that I can really slow things down and achieve these kind of results. There's no way in full daylight I could do a 30-second exposure, and this has been at least a 30-second, probably a 90-second exposure to get this. There's no way you can achieve that in daylight unless you are using ND filters. So that's cool. I'll go back another day and have a go at these. But I was also inspired by these shots. I think they're a bit like Marmite, really. You're going to love them or hate them. But I think they're really smart. Now this says it's green sea in motion. So it must be a view similar to what I'd had. And this on 500px is getting a lot of views, a lot of likes, a lot of people favoriting it. So yeah, we started off like this. We kind of figured, I was there with Andy, a friend of mine, kind of figured actually we could, if I shot in RAW and overexposed, I could pull them down afterwards, but still not getting near the speeds that I wanted. So that's cool, we'll go another day. This was probably one of the better ones that we shot like that. And yes, I mean I can pull this down, and just with a few changes, playing with the temperature on here. Let's have a look, and playing around particularly with the saturation and vibrancy down here. Definition just lifts up what's going on there in the waves. Really pushing things to extremes over here that you wouldn't do typically. But yeah, you can see that without a huge amount of work I can, and even actually if I crop that, that could be a keeper. Yeah, it's quite nice. So I had to go at these blurred ones. Not overly impressed to start with. Rachel, my wife, said they made her feel a bit sick. Looked like she's in motion. And what I've done is just to go through these, and I've rated them up. So right at the top here, this is Rachel's favourite, and I've already had a play around with this one. And I'm just going to, I'll turn off, in fact what I'll do is I'll click revert to original. Everything else in here, so this is how it came in. Everything else in here, there's no editing done so far. This is exactly how it came out of the camera as a raw file. So let me just play with this one. This, as you can see, sun's gone down. And yeah, so I'm starting up here. I'm playing around with my exposure a little bit first. And mostly I'll be in here with my saturation and my vibrancy. And then because we're pushing, so what's happening, saturation, I should explain, if I take it that way you'll get it. Saturation is the colour. When I knock it out it goes black and white, and then this is the extreme where I'm really overdoing the colour, but it kind of works in a shot like this. And I'm just adjusting up here the temperature. I may well leave that. I like that pink you see in that sky. It does look lovely. Okay, what else can we do? A bit of this mid contrast highlights down a bit more, bringing in a bit of that sky. Bringing in detail down here with our shadows. See that? Take that off. So it's just giving me detail in the, either in the shadows or the highlights. Now you might think that's a bit of a mess. That's its original colour. So we started like that. It looks quite plain when you take things off, doesn't it? Whacked up our saturation. Changed the colour slightly. I mean, I can bring that saturation back a bit. I think, to be honest, if you back off too much, it doesn't look more than just the standard shot you made. So no, be a bit brave and go for it. Okay, so that's our first one. There's no blur on that. And file number 51. So if I come back to 58, that would have been a few shots on. But what I can do in Aperture, I'm working on a Mac in Aperture. But really, a lot of these settings will be the same whether you're in Lightroom or using a free program. But what I can do on this is to lift this. It's like copying to a clipboard, jump to my next image and come down, and it gives me a good starting point because it's automatically taken that detail across, or the settings rather. Now I can take that. So again, you can see what that looked like. We just did see what it looked like before. But I've just altered the colours a little bit just to put some more pink in there, and enhance that. As I cool that down, that will go bluer. Yeah, again, so there we go. That's second one. This one again, I like this blur. This is nice lines across here. I mean, I'm going from one to the other, just clicking away. This one even more so. You can see the waves, and that one didn't need exposing the same. Different colours from the pink of that one on here. I can adjust that and make that playing with this. So you're getting the idea. There's no great science in it. I really couldn't tell you the settings that I'm doing. I'm just having a bit of fun and playing. And I like the results. Let me pull you one different one. It's actually before I jump from this. I will just lighten that tab. These ones were from later in the day. Now you can see this motion that's going on. I've got the camera on a tripod and I'm just panning it from left to right as I'm clicking. So for this one here, I'm on a 1/6 of a second, f10, ISO 100, and you can see here there's actually a bit of a clue up here. These lines, it's like a scrape mark that I've gone along, and you can also see that it hasn't been a perfect. It dips a little bit there. That's me being critical, but that's the distance that I've rotated it. So I've gone click and moved it, or actually what I was doing was I was panning it. So as I'm moving the camera like this, I'm going click, click, it goes off. That's my 1/6 of a second. So let's apply that same thing to this. What do we think? Certainly very bold on here. Go back to my adjustments and play around with my temperature so I can make that a totally different feel, can't I, from just tweaking the colours. And a lot of that is down to personal preference, and what I love about this is you're getting artistic at this stage and playing. Why not go for something like this? You've got license to do whatever you want with this. This is like an artist with a paintbrush. You're creating that, and have fun. So I wanted to give you a quick overview, just showing you what I'd done, how I'd come up with these. This one here I haven't touched yet. That looks beautiful on that, and when you zoom into it, it looks like that's been done with a paintbrush, doesn't it? It's wonderful, and I've done nothing to that. That's me shooting a 1/3 of a second. That did, let me think, did that have a slight pan? It's had something like these ones here. There's the still. I'll pull that down, but I know it's going to be too fierce. I don't want that, but I'm going to start with that, and then I can back up from it. And I'm just turning on and off. Actually, I'm going to keep with the original colour, I think, on this one. Yeah, let's leave that as is. I don't know that I want all this detail down here, so I might actually crop this. Yeah. So I was just keen to show you. I'm going to put some of these pictures up now that I came up with. All very similar, but I'm just clicking away. I'm just wiping differently. So some of them are much smoother, like this one. Next one back has still got some detail, but I am still wiping. You can see in the clouds up here that I am still panning one side to another. Same thing here. Some just seem to pick up the waves more than others. So keep clicking away. Have fun. Change the speeds. What have we got on here? You can see on the left-hand side, that's ooh. I don't know what that's doing there. That's brought in wrong data. 0.4. 0.8. Okay, so it is 0.8, 0.4 of a second. But all quite different. That's another lovely one. And I think again, let's keep that back. That again could be done with the paintbrush. So I was really pleased with this, and a lot of fun playing on the beach. My wife was very patient, thankfully. Another one, beautiful effect in here. I think this would blow up really nicely, actually, and I could put this up on a wall, and with maybe a bit of definition in there, bringing out the detail, that would look super framed upon a wall. So there's a bit of fun, creativity. I enjoyed just going out, having a blast, and yeah, go for it. Have some fun.